Guys, what's up and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. Today I am at Copart and I am picking up an Audi. I know it's not really the season, but I bought a convertible. While I'm waiting for the car to get pulled out, I'm gonna show you guys a car that I have on consignment, which is a 2002 or 2003 Mini Cooper S. So if you guys are following the channel, you know I just bought a Mini Cooper, also S, a little bit newer, but I was kind of curious because I had the assumption that my Mini Cooper was not stock, and this Mini Cooper is completely stock. It's actually in really good shape. It does have a salvage title, you know, from damage here, and then the lid was damaged, but this thing is mechanically completely stock. The engine between those years, the 2002 that's behind me and the 2005 that I have, has not changed as far as I know. But my Mini Cooper is not stock. I think I will have to dyno it because it feels so much more responsive. It is much quicker than the stock one. And I'm very happy I took the risk and bought that Mini Cooper with mechanical damage. Last car I bought from Copart, the damage was a lot worse and it was actually to the same corner, so I'm very happy to see that this actually isn't that bad. I already purchased a new taillight. I think it was like $73. Should be here in a few days, so as long as this thing runs mechanically well with no issues, we should be okay. So I'm kind of alarmed. Oh boy, did not see that. So I'm kind of alarmed that the windows are down. Something tells me that someone tried to put the roof down. Nice Continental tires, they look almost new. Bumper popped out right here. You know, pictures never really give you the full story. See, like this hood, the paint is really kind of faded. I don't think a car wash will save this. Maybe a buff, we'll see. I was going to say I am almost positive that this thing will not start on its own, but looks like it might since all the lights are on. Let's cut the key. Battery cover is off, so I'm assuming it might need a jump, but let's take a look at this. Oh man, it looks like it's right at the bottom oil-wise. With all of these older German cars, it's always a darn risk what you're getting yourself into. Well, coolant is there. We have some oil. Let's see if she'll start. Oh, that's awesome. Started right up. No dead pixels. This doesn't close. Do that. Okay, let's get these windows up and see if they actually work. They do. Awesome. Because in the pictures, the windows were rolled up. I am not going to try the top right now because I have to take the Mini back to the lot and then come back for this car. But I am going to let it run for a little bit, warm up. And these are the only lights we have on. E-brake, seatbelt, and the airbag light. Airbag light could be because the battery was completely dead and you know, lost connection. It's a German thing. I've had plenty of cars with this type of issue. Just needs to be reset. While I am in here, let's go through what I paid for this car. So the winning bid was $925. It was a pure sale, meaning that the highest bid at the end of the auction was going to win this car. I think it was only up bid once, so I was winning it at $875. Someone bid $900. I bid $925. I ended up winning the car. After fees, paying with a secure payment, which was a money order, the total was $1,218. I did not see the seat in the back, which is a bummer. Looks like the roof is pretty good. I don't smell any water. I don't see any tears or rips. So technically the only expense that I see on this car is the taillight, which was $73, which will roughly put me at $1,300 into this car. It has almost 134,000 miles. And this is its primary damage. Let's actually take a look at the roof again. Make sure, in honesty, it seems good. So it's been running for maybe 2-3 minutes. And I don't hear any weird noises of any kind. Well, the bulbs are okay, so at least I'll have that. It won't look the best while driving. By the way, it's all-wheel drive, so yes, kind of excited for this one. I think I got it for a pretty good price. Looks like it has HID headlights and everything works. I think once I come home, I will try the convertible top, because if it doesn't close, then I could just put it in the garage and figure out what I'm gonna do with it. But I feel the heated seat already working. I am going to wait and make sure that the heater works. Yep, I feel the heater, although the engine temperature still shows cold. Let's put it in gear, make sure it ain't knocking. Oh, e-brake is on. Left rear light, yes, that I knew of. Actually, let's report this thing. All right, I moved about a foot, so we have low windshield wiper fluid, the tail light is out, and it's showing me brake pads. So I don't know if that's a sensor or they are in fact pretty low. But before we go super fast, we are just going to take it easy. No, brakes feel pretty good. So I have to take a look at that, but brake pads aren't expensive. And we're just gonna park it right here. Are these legitimate Lotus wheels on a Scion? No way. Well, let's jump in the Mini, take it to the shop, and come back for the Audi. Look at these little helpers. So what I am actually going to do is add some oil, because when I looked at it, it was a little low, and I think just to be safe, it wasn't like empty, but look at that. It ran for a little bit and it's milky. I'm not worried though. I'm gonna tell you guys why I'm not really worried about the milky oil cap, because when a car has been sitting for a while and the temperature changes, say from like warm weather to colder weather, you could have moisture that gets built up a little bit inside the engine, or just because, you know, it hasn't been driven, it's been sitting for a very long time, like there's so many moving parts. And I've had it before where I bought a car, it had a slightly milky oil cap, I drove it, you know, 10-15 miles and it never came back, and it was totally fine after that. I've even had an F-150 truck that I did an oil change on, and I left the oil cap off the engine while I was doing the oil change, and some moisture got in there, and yeah, it was a little milky until that moisture kind of got burnt off by driving the engine. So that's why I'm not worried about it. I feel heat from the vent. I had to turn it down because it was blowing so hot, so I think cooling system will be a-okay. But I am still keeping an eye out on that gauge right there you guys see in the middle of your screen. But it seems like it's running pretty good. I think it's pulling a little bit to the left. I definitely feel the brakes, so I'll have to see if it's worn pads or maybe rotors and pads that are worn. But this car seems promising. Seems like it's running pretty well. But we'll see once I get home. Let's see how I'll do on highway speeds. Yeah, I think it is definitely pulling a little to the left. Another beautiful day though. I have made it home, and let's see, moment of truth.
Hi. Let's open it. That's cool. That's cool. What is it?
I don't know if I have to hold the button or not to keep it going, but look at that. The top works. Well, down. I guess the main question will be, does it go back up? I guess with the top down, it gives it a different look. The one thing I did not check is maybe it's leaking oil, and maybe it was hit somewhere underneath. The car ran fine mechanically.
If you guys can see this, there are a few scuffs. I don't know if this would be enough to throw off the alignment a little bit, but I feel it. And it already has drilled and slotted rotors. There we go. And I feel them. Well, and pads are almost new, so maybe they replaced the pads but didn't replace the warped rotors. We'll have to see. I have learned to not touch it after I just drove the car. While it's cooling off, I can add some Rain-X. At least get one of the warning lights turned off. Make sure it's not leaking underneath. Yeah, aim was not good, so ignore that. I'm gonna remove the paint on the glass, so that's the mileage, almost 134. The one thing I will need to watch is make sure it's not leaking oil anywhere underneath. But it seemed like it was driving pretty well. By the looks of it, oil is fresh. Yeah, I think it was literally just replaced. So either they didn't add enough, which is a possibility, which is also why I will not take my car to get my oil replaced. This is why I will always do it myself, because I have heard one too many horror stories of not refilling it to the correct levels and then having issues. Let's close it up. Start it up. I'm gonna take the oil out and the stuff I took with me, and then we are going to put the roof back on, hopefully. Fantastic news, looks like everything is working as far as I know. I almost feel like a slight misfire, like tiny bit, maybe 5%. So we'll see if it's gonna throw a check engine code once I actually drive it a little bit more. But for this video, that was it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a comment in the comment section below. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you are not a subscriber already. Take care.